Welcome back to JKLive. Here is Citizen Television on with the governor of county number 047. Sakaja Johnson, I got it right, thank God. But there's an Arthur in between.
Yeah, Arthur. That's after my grandfather.
Nice.
The Reverend Arthur Kubasu, James Arthur Kubasu.
Did they call you Arthur in changes?
No, they just called me Sax.
No. So you were Sax from way back?
From way back.
Okay, Auditor General's report.
Yeah.
What is it, financial year 23-24? Have that financial year. You collected 3.8 billion.
No.
No. That's what the Auditor General says?
No, that's not true. Put it up. Bring it up.
How much did you collect?
In 23, 24. Now we're in 24, we're in 25, 24, 25. We did 12.8 billion.
12.8
billion. It's bigger than ever before, but not enough. You know, and I must keep saying that. My staff, I have 19,000 staff. Nairobi is a service county, you know. And I know sometimes there's those reports that say, look, you're paying a lot in salaries, but you need people to serve you in Nairobi. You need nurses and doctors. Mama Lucy Hospital, for instance, alone has 1,200 staff, more than many county governments. I have Mama Margaret Hospital that I am, you know, we're operationalizing it. It's going to be bigger than Mama Lucy. It'll need close to 1,600 staff alone. And so you need those kids cleaning the streets. You know, you need parking attendants, you need customer service people. And so everything we get from equitable share just goes on to personal emoluments. Every development you see in the city is from our collection, purely from our collection. And that's why, you know, we as Nairobians must realize that it's upon us to just do our fair part of it. I've not increased rates, you know, like charges on many things. We didn't even have a finance bill last year because we did one in 2023 that was so exhaustive and said, let's monitor how it is then implemented. But if everyone just pays their part, you know, now we have the sectional properties law. Because it was not fair for one half-acre plot, for instance, in Kileleshwa, to pay the same as the next half-acre. This one has one bungalow, the next one has 100 houses, paying the same. Yet all of you need water, all of you are using the road, all of you are, you know. And so now you must change your certificate to a sectional title. It was agreed upon in the summit that we will retire what we used to call the RDA, the Registration of Documents Act, to our sectional titles. If you have a flat that you own, you must get your title. If you do not do it, the reversionary interest at the end of your lease will go back to the owner of the property. Right. Because that person needs to pay. And it's not too much, you know. You have a 20 million house and you'll pay 20,000 a year, you know, or 15,000. But if all of you pay, I'll do all the roads. I'll fix all the drainage. There'll be down in our hospitals. There'll be walkways. There'll be cycle lanes. There'll be green spaces, you know. But if everyone actually does their part. So that's a challenge.
Do you think Kenyans in general are very negative or very pessimistic? Is that what we are? Even though Michael Joseph once called us a peculiar nation.
I don't know why he said that. And I said it in Kajiado during my friend, the member for parliament for Dagoretti North, Hassan's funeral.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, what you're calling bitterness or anger or pessimism from the people is a cry. The people want to feel that they own their country. They don't want to see their destiny passing them by. They want a responsive government. They want leaders who understand what they're going through and we're not just showing off and we're not speaking down to people or speaking arrogantly, but explaining and engaging and showing progress. And I said, the problem is not our youth, it's us as leaders. Because sometimes, and I've seen it for many of my colleagues who get thrust into leadership, that it goes to your head. If you cannot stay humble, if you can't stay grounded, you'll always be at odds with the people. You must always stay grounded. and know that it's a service. Like you're serving the people. My greatest joy is those smiles I'm talking about. It's those, you know, and the encouragement and the progress. And I see this place look like this. Now it has a road. If you look at the wards in Nairobi, we have something called the Ward Development Program. That, you know, we have committees in the wards that sit down and the communities say, in Korogosho, or in Waithaka, or in Umoja, or in Makongeni, or in Mlango Kubwa, and they say, this is what we want to do. The highest allocation they had ever gotten was 210 million shillings in 2017. The first year I was in office, I did 720 thereabout million shillings. This last year, we did 935. Just last month, I did 284 million. And I have 384 pending at the control of budget. Because those are things that connect the people, you know, and they feel it. Last year when I was here, there were floods, like we are, and people were cut off. I promised to do a couple of bridges. They're all done, you know.
What about the boats?
What about the boats?
We're still waiting for the boats, man.
No, we don't need boats. The boats will be in Uhuru Park. We'll enjoy the boats if you get a date. And people are enjoying Uhuru Park.
A lot, huh?
They're loving it. And now I'm doing Wangari Maathai Park in Westlands.
Oh, where?
Mwanzi Road next to Westgate. You know, and we've partnered with the private sector and said, guys, they need us to have our you know, allotment letter. I got it from NLC. And that's going to be a beautiful park because cities need green spaces. Cities need places to release pressure, you know, to relax. You remember how people used to go to Uhuru Park for air burgers?
Oh, yeah.
When you're tamarking and at lunchtime you just go, you don't have food. Those spaces...
It was a religious experience.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Jivanji Gardens.
You know, Jivanji as well, you know. City Park, which now finally is coming back to the county. Mm-hmm. It had been taken over by national government, by KWS.
Is that the one opposite Aga Khan?
Yeah. It was taken unprocedurally. In the last regime, a title deed was produced. Yet I have the original title for City Park. It's owned by the county government of Nairobi. And we're like, no, take it. It belongs to the people of Nairobi, not KFS, you know. And our last engagement with the head of public service has reverted it back now to the county government. If you go to TRM, Roysambu, as you're on Thika Road, on Sundays, you'll see families on the islands of the roundabout because they have no place to go to. We're recreating it also to a park. You know, we started, of course, Kenya told us, no, you can't do it. I said, guys, please, this is Nairobi, and we'll make sure there's safety. But plant some grass, do some ablution facilities, put a few swings. I have a program. It's very exciting. I love kids. And so I'm working with Big Green Philanthropy. And we're doing playgrounds now in every single estate. Swings, slides, monkey bars. It might sound mundane, but these are the things that create a society.
But you have no money and yet you want to do all these things.
That's why I'm telling you, you're partnering with different people, you know. So, you know, what you do when you get into these positions, look at what you have available to you, do the most out of it, but seek partnerships. You know, you seek partnerships as you increase your revenue. So we're raising our revenue. We're collecting the highest ever, even more than NMS, more than the first governor, the second governor. And this year we're going to again hit you know, a record. But I can't wait for when all the 250,000 parcel owners, everyone who drives into, you know, a parking space, everyone who does a license. Remember, we introduced the first ever unified business permit. Before, you'd have to get 5-6 licenses to run a business from different offices. Get your fire license on Tomboya. Go to the 4th floor for your advertising. Go to this floor. Today it is one license. Jeff, you can do one right now.
One-stop shop.
Go online, nairobiservices.go.ke, open your account, register your business, print out your unified business permit. No one has done that in this region. Leave Kenya in this region. One license. That license has fire, it has hygiene, it has your business permit, it has your whatever you require. You just describe your business. People said, oh, people will undeclare. They'll make their businesses look smaller. I raised the highest ever historically. In this last month of the last month of March, we did 2B. Never done before, because of trusting the people. So there's all these things happening, but of course what you're saying is true. Sometimes the negative noise clouds out the progress being made. It clouds out the strides. Today, come to City Hall tomorrow, City Hall Annex. Go to a customer service center, state of the art, world class. Before you'd line up in the streets, you get into what you call a cash office and someone with papers. Today, it's like any world class banking hall at City Hall. Before it was, you'd think even you can utapigwa hapo Nyongolo. Nyongolo. So it's progress.
Yeah. But it's
step by step.
Step by step.
Yeah. There's no magic.
But Nairobians are very impatient, huh?
I'm a Nairobian. I know us.
Ayub, we've got lots of tweets coming in, aren't they?
Very many.
Go on, start.
We can sample some. Yes, Abel. So we have the first one from Rafael Pondofo says, why has the County Public Service Board of Nairobi ignored the Public Service Commission, the Ministry of Health and the courts in implementing career guidelines for clinical officers?
Well, the Public Service Board is almost semi-autonomous. I think the chair would answer that. But I doubt they've ignored it. I've had many engagements. Remember, despite being governor, on top of being governor of Nairobi, I'm also the chair of human resources at the Council of Governors. And I'm the one who's I resolved their strike, where they had not been admitted to SHA. As they were being told to go under a doctor, and I said no, they must be recognized and be admitted as clinical officers. So that is something that we're on top of.
Sami24 says, for 3 years now, stormwater management has been a problem in the city under Governor Sakaja's watch. What concrete strategies has his administration adopted to engineer a lasting solution to stop water management? If what the county government lacks is technical expertise, we are here to help.
The county doesn't lack technical expertise. As I've said, we are very, very qualified engineers, but we also engage with the Institute of Engineers. I've seen requests from the consulting engineers. Let's come together, if you have more ideas. But everything you propose has a cost. So again, the resourcing and the RMLF issue. We sort out RMLF for counties, we'll sort out Nairobi.
Okay. John Nyawira says, hi Jeff, kindly ask Governor Sakaja, are special needs populations given adequate housing options? How much of the community's rental housing stock is subsidized? Will the affordable housing master plan reson single family neighborhoods?
Yes, some of the single family neighborhoods, and possibly they're talking about the single unit dwellings, have to be redone. The population, if you look at Woodley Estate done by Sir Richard Woodley, who was mayor of Nairobi in the 40s, I think 50s, the need is different. And so that's why I give you the example that 43 houses are now have yielded. And the courts sided with me because they had gone to court to say they cannot be demolished. Before we told them to move, I gave each and every of the tenants, they're tenants, remember, 900,000 shillings to pay rent for a few months, go elsewhere, and come back, and I've given them an allotment letter for a house for free. I said, everything you've paid as a family, because many of these houses, you go to Jericho, go to all these estates, you'll find that it was an uncle, the dad, the son, and there's a lot of history attached to them. But we've said, look, we'll give you a house, we will retain you if you have that card from the county government and you're in our records. Okay. But also, 43 houses have yielded to 1975 houses. Remember, in 2050, Nairobi will have a population of 10.5 million people. 10.5 million. It's 696 square kilometers. It's not expanding. So we must, so I'm sorry, there we must rezone single family neighborhoods, but there are different categories. 1-bedroom house at 35 square meters, there's 2-bedroom house at 45, there's 3-bedroom. In some areas like Woodley and others we're doing, there's even 4-bedroom houses. Special needs are being taken care of. If you look at our new building code passed last year, as well as the KEBS building standards, you must have ramps, you must have what we call universal access. Even the new walkways we're doing in pavements, you find in Nairobi pavements would end abruptly, and so you can't roll a wheelchair. Across the world, it slants.
There's a ramp.
There are some, dots at the end, that if you're with a white cane, you can feel that this is the end of it. The street light has audio. That is where we're moving to.
Okay. Box Eo Mundial 22 says, Jeff, please ask why Sakaja and NEMA allowed parklands to become lawless. Developers park trucks on the roads, cut down trees, block drainage, and show no accountability. No replanting, no regard for environment. Why is this allowed, Sakaja?
It is not allowed. It is wrong. It is wrong, you know. And that's why I'm asking. In fact, I would want to meet the resident associations to discuss this, because a lot of the roads we're redoing, go to Chania Avenue, go to Kindaruma, which we've redone, go to Wood Avenue. The mess has been done by construction trucks, especially those carrying premix concrete, carrying steel. I met the Property Developers Association, KPDA, and the Chinese Property Developers Association together. I told them, you guys, I will not give you an occupational certificate before you restore that road. And moving forward, you'll have to maintain it to continue having your permit, you know, because we must all be responsible.
KLD_Nairobi says a developer register enables Nairobi residents to appeal building approvals that are contrary to zoning guidelines. Lack of this register is the root of all haphazard, unchecked and unplanned development in Nairobi County.
A development register is a provision of the Physical Land Use Planning Act, Section 62, thereabout, that is envisaged in the law. The last section of that paragraph talks about regulations being done by the Cabinet Secretary. We've written and asked them to do the regulations of how the register is done, but it's something we're keen on, and the CS Alice Ahome is to do those regulations for us to now publish that register. Before, you'd go to the minute books of the City Council and you'll get all of that information.
Okay. Jenny_Muikari says, hello, Jeff. Ask Governor Sakaja why there have been consistent deliberate delays in payment of salaries to doctors in Nairobi City County government.
They have not.
When was the last time they were paid?
They have not. They're paid every month. You'll find counties where, and unfortunately, and I don't blame my colleagues, because if I'm telling you counties last got exchequer in February, that struggle. This month, we're able to pay right before Easter, which is, of course, that's a delay. But it's not for doctors. It's for all the staff, including me, including my salary. We don't pay salaries based on your engineers first, then doctors, then it's everyone. My wage bill is around 1.5 billion shillings.
A month?
And so, yes. And so if for 3 months you've not received exchequer, there's a strain on your own source revenue. And remember, the city must keep operating. You know, so there's no deliberate delay. Well, no, why would anyone want to delay someone else's salary, including their own? Because you're paid together. It's one payroll that is passed.
1.5 B a month. Is that a little bloated?
It's not enough. We don't even have enough staff in this city. Do the math after the show. 19,000 staff serving 7 million people. Vis-a-vis, maybe the national government, I think they may possibly, if you put teachers, 600,000 staff serving 50 million people. It's not enough.
Pavement Safe says kudos for dealing with hawkers in the city. However, there is still some back, especially in the evening and on Tomboya Street. What are you doing to ensure the city is pedestrian friendly, not only in the CBD but also in estates where traders have encroached on walkways?
I know my chief officer for enforcement, Eva, is watching.
Twendekazi.
And I've discussed with the hawkers, Gashanja, their chair, and Kimani, and we've agreed for them to use back lanes. I want them to do their business. We've covered some of the areas we've provided for them. But on the walkway, the pedestrian walkway is for pedestrians. So it's not allowed.
Yeah.
No.
Gabriel Kanja says, what has happened to Roysambu Ward WDP? It had an allocation of 23 million. We are in April, only 2 months to the end of the financial year. Where is our project?
I think they should talk to the MCA. But as I've said, we're paying in batches. We've done 284. There's 385 at the control of budget, waiting for, you do a budget, but you wait for it to be financed. As of today, I think we had 131 million in the CRF, County Revenue Fund. Each day we collect an amount. It's a priority. Let me tell you, there is nothing I love more than ward development-based projects. And that is my #1 priority, because they reach Bonanchi where they are. Roysambu is the ward that got the first tarmac road I did as governor. yeah, TRM Drive next to Jesus Winner. You know, and I'm going to do Lumumba Drive. I'm going to do all of those are part of the program. I told you we secured 2.6 billion recently that we're working with the national government.
Abdi Aziz says, Honorable Governor Sakaja, kindly address the delayed salaries of Nairobi County workers. Many families depend on timely payments for livelihoods. When can they expect resolution? Transparency will ease anxieties. This is the second time this is coming.
I think if it's not been paid, it's not our worker. All our workers are paid. And I can show you my message when I received my salary. It's one payroll.
How much do you make?
I can't tell you. And it's in public domain what governors make. But it was all done. I think this is the biggest delay. And let me tell you, this is a county, and sometimes people take for granted. Before I became governor, you'd have months of salary delays. We have no single backlog of any month. It may come late, it may come on the 10th or the 15th, but it's paid that month, for sure. Now, what we did, possibly that's what they're alluding to, was we did a biometric registration of all our staff to make sure there are no ghost workers. You will be shocked. There are many officers who backdated designations because they had not been in the county. Because I gave them the best health insurance, you had to register biometrically, many didn't come for it. And I said, only pay those in the biometric register. So those who came later on are the ones who are being onboarded later because, I mean, some people are in the States working there. Some are in the UK, they moved a long time ago and receiving a salary. So in fact, that report that we've done is now going to be forwarded to the investigative agencies to say, why are you receiving a salary and you're not in the city? Yeah.
It's Otieno Mokaya as you look for the payment.
Thank you.
Ask Sakaja Johnson whether the contractors who did cabros and roadworks in CBD have been paid, and if not, is there money to pay them? If there is, when will they be paid? Nairobi County is killing contractors with debt and depression.
The contractors who did cabros in the CBD under the Nairobi County government have all been paid. It was under RMLF, and I got the allocation that had been, there was a hanging allocation of 970 million from 2019 that they didn't give the last governor, but I negotiated and got it. Those who may not have been paid are the NMS pending bills, which are not under the county government, they're under the executive office in the national government.
Okay. Sue says, ask Governor Sakaja to provide data on how much has been spent on road repairs in the past year and the impact.
Of course, that can't be top of my head. I can look and give that information. Please give me that Twitter handle.
Okay, so Abel, we can get that back? Yes.
Sue 4050.
At Sue 4050.
Okay, at Sue 4050. I know Engineer Tirop, my chief officer for roads, is watching. Please give me that information and tweet back to Sue 4050.
Next is from Richie Mahmoud. He says, or she, not sure. I don't have much to tell Sakaja because Nairobi is messy everywhere, but on the issue of Mayai Boiro and Smoky, by the way, Jeff had one.
Yeah,
and why can those vendors be provided with medical certificates at a fee so that we can be served our favorite smokies or smochers, okay? I'm from Wajir anyway, without kukimbizwa na kanjo.
You know, public health concerns. I think some of you have seen what my chief officer Mosiria has been unearthing about the health standards. You know, I want these people to do their business, but to do it properly and in the right place. And so, everybody gets a medical certificate. You must get it from the county and apply for it. It's available for them to pay at a fee. In fact, if they want to pay in installments, I can allow them to do it, for them to be tested. But I will not have them on walkways. I will not have them, because the other question you asked was about pedestrians. You know, so we can't contradict ourselves. Do it at the right place.
And the Nduthi guys are using the pedestrian walks anyway.
Yeah, it's wrong, you know. And you can't keep running after them. Yeah. It's all about responsibility.
Yeah, Samawati says, ask the governor whether his administration could extend the Dish in a County program to universities. Bwana comrades wanainama hatari.
Jeff, unajua kuinama?
To bend over?
No. Kuinama is, you know, when you lack a meal. And many kids in campus are actually lacking meals because it's tough. It's tough out there. Of course, constitutionally, I'm not allowed to get to that level. But I would love to, because I have the infrastructure. I have those 17 kitchens. I want to do more, and I keep saying I will not say my target until I meet it, because I don't like making a promise that I won't fulfill, and I will fulfill it. to cover at least all the kids in the city.
Okay.
And universities, I think there should be a framework for it. So that's something I can follow up with the minister, Migos.
Miriam says His Excellency Governor Sakaja has improved the customer service center at City Hall by employing young clerks who are very friendly and efficient. It's a compliment.
Thank you.
Esther K says
Lydia Gatheru is in charge of that customer service center. She's really good and I have amazing young people. If you go there, you'll be served with a smile. When I became governor, I realized and I knew public service, most offices you go to in government, they find the public a nuisance. That one mnakuja hapa, they leave their coat, and we had to change that culture
like
slowly.
Like house used to be.
Yeah. But today you come, you're greeted with a smile. It's just that if I would even give people lunch, but I can't, you know.
Esther K says, on the Nairobi Battle of Choirs, can the governor clarify on the payment of the participants and will we have one this year?
All those who won the last Battle of the Choirs were paid. Number one was Kahoa West Church. They were to be paid 2 million. I added $1 million for them. They got 3. Number 2 and number 3 got their money. I think there are possibly some vendors, you know, some of those who subcontract maybe didn't pay their people, and I'd love to follow it up if they tell me who.
Are they going to perform this year again? Are you going to have a...
No, this year we want to do a Christmas festival. So we didn't do Battle of Choirs normally happens during Easter.
Okay.
And so this year we skipped it, so that we can do a festival at the end of the year. After the Nairobi festival, some Christmas choir festival.
Ken Mweresa, watching this broadcast from Kibra, says, hello, our Governor Sakaja. Just my concern, we were glad and happy with our your governor's school fund that was doing well and helping the less fortunate students, especially from ghetto areas, but abruptly this fund has been stopped without any address. Kindly enlighten us about it. We are worried our children will be out of school.
Jeff, I've spoken about this numerously. You saw the controller of budget told counties to stop issuing bursaries and scholarships. I have 119,000 children who receive bursaries every term. The bursary you might get this term, next term you may not get. We give it at the ward level. But I have 5,100 children in high school who get a scholarship. Those who perform the best after the last year of primary school, or JSS now, you know. When this was stopped by the controller of budget, and then somebody went to court and actually now completely stopped it, so many of these kids have been sent back home. They say we should do an intergovernmental agreement. I have reached out to the Ministry of Education. I have a draft. But that court ruling is holding us back, you know. And our message to the controller of budget, who I have much respect for, is that devolution is not a competition between national and county governments. By counties paying bursaries, we're not performing the function of education that belongs to the national government. We're performing a social protection function that is within our purview, because we're keeping these kids in school. If you have not noticed, Jeff, over the last 2 years, the number of kids you would find in the streets in Nairobi during a school day has gone down drastically, because they're in school. They have bursary and they have food. But now, look at the situation. You know, so I'll really urge, and I'm glad the president is in support. You know, he said that, you know, and he addressed the COB to drop that. Devolution is based on what we call the principle of subsidiarity, where a service is best offered at the lowest level compatible with that benefit area. It's easier for me to identify a child in Madare, in Ndururuno Primary School, and support him than the national government. And if I have the budget to do it, allow me to do it.
Good.
Dr. Kalua Girin, of course, environmentalist. Sakaja deserves more than praise, he says. He deserves our partnership. Let's make Nairobi work for common good.
Asante sana, Daktari.
CK says, Jeff, kindly ask the governor what he plans to do about the chaos and lack of order in CBD. You have border-borders riding on the wrong side of the road, lack of traffic lights, jaywalking, etc. It's anarchy.
I know a lot of the traffic lights had been vandalized last year, and we're restoring them. Remember, again, in terms of the delineation of functions, traffic management, according to our constitution's 4th schedule, is a county function. But you find traffic police in there. They have no business actually doing that function. And so there's still that tussle about it. And it's something we'll sort out. I mean, you see border riders, and my friends are there. CBD chairman is Ken Onyango. And I keep telling him, you cannot have your borders riding anti-clockwise on a roundabout or how they want to. We have an entire wing in Kenyatta Hospital for border accidents.
And those happen every day?
I was patron of widows when I was an MP, when I became senator. Widows of border riders. And so I think we need to, and I'll reach out to the Inspector General of Police again. We need to really enforce, because we know the law. Then how many border and passengers you see with helmets on?
Yeah, very few.
Very few. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Olwal says, before becoming the governor, Sakaja was a rapper and a businessman and an actuarial science chap, which he still is. Please, Jeff, ask him how his talent is tied to his success as a governor.
Stress reduction. When I'm stressed, I pick up my guitar.
Is that right?
Yeah, I have a guitar in my office. So when I just pick it up, strum a bit. Well and sometimes I rap a little, with my friends.
Seriously?
This is, I think, a repeat, so we'll move to the next.
And we'll actually publish this, and we'll be the first county to publish.
Okay. Colwell 6 says, Governor Sakaja's initiative to decongest the city by introducing efficient public transport systems, such as the revamped bus routes and termini, showcases commitment to sustainable urban planning. Kudos.
Asante. Colwell knows what we've done. We've brought back the new bus routes that I've gazetted and sent to the Assembly. You remember before, not all buses and matatus must terminate in the CBD. Right. We used to have number 842 that would go from Kibera to Dandora. We used to have Kayole to Kawangware. So the CBD doesn't have to be a congestion point, that you can go across from Kawangware, number 23, would go all the way to Buruburu. So that is what we've restored. We've taken it to the Assembly, and I know the Committee on Roads and Transport is going to expedite it, so that we can have a city that breathes and that flows. That, as well as what I've discussed on BRT and the metro, that we need to get done in the city.
All right, Gov, it's just about midnight.
What?
And I'm sure you're waking up early tomorrow.
Yeah, it's midnight.
Imagine that. Time flies when you're having fun.
Thank you for your time.
You got the last word now. Speak to Nairobians in general.
I'd like to tell the people of Nairobi, I'm ever so grateful, and always am grateful, for the opportunity to serve. Our city has a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities. God has gifted us with a lot of great things. Our people, our culture, our best gift. We don't have minerals or gold. Our best gift is our people. I hope that we can still come together and make Nairobi work together. It is not one person's role. We all have a responsibility. Let us move from just about our rights to about our responsibility. Sio tu haki yetu, but wajibu wetu. I'm ready, to continue working with the people. And many times we may falter, we may stumble, but the intention is there. The will is there, the heart is there, and the mind is there to make Nairobi work. So let's make Nairobi work. Thank you.
Itawak.
Lazima iwaka. Lazima.
You heard it.
Aina choice.
Aina choice.
Lazima iwaka.
You heard it from the man himself, Governor Sakaja Johnson, talking like he sees it. He says, look, we're trying our best and we can do better, but you know what? It's going to require all hands on deck. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
What more can you ask for? Thanks so much for being a part of JKLive, folks. If it's Wednesday, it's all about those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks for being with us tonight. What do you say, Ayub? Not a bad show.
4 minutes past midnight.
Oof. What time do you normally stop?
1:45.
Because of some of the guys, anyway, let me not get into that.
Thanks a lot, Governor Bay. With the dimples. Good job.
Asante sana. God bless.